In today's video, I'm going to teach you my secret formula to building the ultimate sales page. What's up, fam? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, CMH, founder of StartupU. StartupU is an online interactive learning space for online business owners. Okay, now if you are just picking up, we're now nearing the end of this series on getting your business started in 2021. If you're watching this video sometime in the future, don't worry, this will apply regardless of when you are watching. It doesn't have to be the beginning of 2021. What we're teaching in this series will apply to everything. However, a lot of stuff I'm going to be referencing in this video is going to refer back to previous videos that we've done in this series. So the first video is right here. You can grab that after you're done here, or you can go back and watch it now. Come back to this video, watch them in order. Whatever you want to do, just make sure that you see all these videos, because you're not going to really have the full idea and grasp what we're actually talking about unless you see the content in those other videos. Okay, so I need you guys to keep a secret for me, okay? Because in this video, I'm actually going to peel back the curtains and show you literally a slide from one of my flagship programs called Startup Launch Factory, okay? So don't tell anybody that I'm showing you this, because truthfully, there are people that have paid good money for that program, but I feel like they would forgive me because this is great stuff. And you guys are going to benefit tremendously from it. But obviously, you want to make sure you check out that program if you want more stuff like this, because this is just not even scratching the surface. So let's go ahead and jump in. And I'm going to talk to you about the elements of a highly converting sales page, and then we get into more of the nuance as we go through and talk about those various parts of the sales page. Okay, so let's dive in here. So the first thing you want to have, obviously, is this is the general structure, right? So you've got your awesome headline, something like a video or an image that resonates with, your particular audience, whatever it is that you're specifically offering. You're going to use that. Then you're going to have some kind of text there in the middle, kind of your meat of your sales page. And at the bottom, you're going to create some form of scarcity. So this is just a general rough draft blueprint of what the general overview should look like for a sales page. Now, you'll notice something on the left. There are three core sections that you want to make sure that you embody, right? The general theme of your sales page is going to be first emotion, right? So what we want to focus on here is transformation. A lot of people, what they do with a sales page is they jump straight into logic, or they jump straight into features and not necessarily really connect with their audience, or connect with their ideal client avatar on a level that's going to speak to them about what it is that's going to change their life. At the end of the day, what people really are going to make decisions on is emotion, not logic. Logic for some, actually, of all of the factors that help people making a purchasing decision, logic is actually percentage-wise the smallest, right? So it's loss, gain, there's other things, fear, things that go into it, but all centered around emotion. Those are really what drive people to make decisions. However, what you'll find is that logic, if done correctly, logic will solidify the decision, right? They'll be able to talk themselves into doing it, or immediately after the sale, what they'll do is you then use logic and it'll stick with them, so they continue to justify why they purchased what they just purchased. Once the emotional aspect of it wears off and they're having to explain it to themselves or to their husband or wives or whomever that they just spent $2,000 on a training program, that logic argument is what's going to really stick, and it'll really help you. This is a pro tip. It'll really help you from having people come back and ask for refund requests. So that's a huge component of it. We don't want to definitely dismiss that. It's also a great part here, and we're going to talk about the meta specifics of this page. It's also a great part for you to really show off both your knowledge, educate your audience, show some social proof, counter some objections. Very, very important stuff. But the first thing we want to do is focus on the emotional aspect, right? And you should, and going back to our previous videos in this series, one of the things you should have known, and when I told you to do, was to have conversations with people that are potential customers, to immerse yourself in the market, to follow competition, to see what they're doing, right? Because here's the deal. One of your competitors can be out there, right? But if they're not connecting on a deep level, if people don't feel heard and understood, if people don't feel like that you can provide the transformation that they're seeking, and moreover, that you understand the transformation that they're seeking, you're understanding the gain that they want to acquire, the fear that they're overcoming, right? If it's a weight loss thing, right? How they're gonna feel, what they're gonna look like, all of those various aspects. And that's why with weight loss programs, they're so effective, because they're able to tap into that emotional space of what your life would be like, right? The ways people would look at you, the way you feel about yourself, right? That allows people to envision themselves in this new version of themselves, right? So It doesn't have to be weight loss, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Tap into the emotion and understand specifically what is the transformation that these people are seeking. What is the ultimate benefit that we can provide through our services or through our products? That is what needs to embody the emotion aspect of that. I'm telling you right now, if you don't nail that part, and that's why this is first above all else, if you don't nail that emotional aspect, they're not even gonna get to the second part. They're not even gonna get to the logical argument because you haven't reeled them in. That's your hook, right? So this is your chance to really speak to those people, to show them, right, in many ways, to show them that you are the person that can show them the road. You can show them the pearly gates, right, of acquiring what it is that they've wanted or that is going to provide them the utility that they've been seeking for such a long period of time. So it's important that you nail this. And again, I would go back to the previous videos in this series to really analyze how we talked about having those conversations with people in your market, because it's going to tell you so much. And hopefully you recorded those conversations and go back and watch them again. It's going to tell you so much about who they are, what they really want, and then all you're doing is regurgitating that to people that are like them, right? So that's huge. That's going to be majorly beneficial for you. So that's the first part. So you're going to grab their attention with your awesome headline. And then what's the problem, right? What's the problem that it is? And then moreover, tell your story, right? Nothing relates to people better than you showing that you were once like them, right? You experienced where they are, and there's now a gap between where you are and where they want to be, right? And this could be that's in more of a BDC play. This could be in a lot of different ways. You have to kind of make that work for you. But whatever it is that you're selling, you want to show them that you have the bridge that you can show them to get to where you are or where your business is. And that is going to be an amazing opportunity for you to really show off. Even if your service doesn't necessarily involve you, the individual, maybe there's a reason why you're doing the service that you're doing, why you're starting the company that you started, I used to have a moving company. The reason I got into the moving business is because I saw people really struggling with going through that in the summer heat, right? So I could tell that story about why I got into it. I wanted to serve others and help, right? Tell that story. I wanted to give college kids a job during the summer. They can make money to pay for their way through school. That's an awesome, compelling story. So don't be shy. Don't be afraid to really let that shine through the emotional aspect of your sales page. Okay, next, let's go to the logical argument, right? This is the meat and potatoes right here. This is the part where we're going to make this a no-brainer. We've hit them with that emotional stuff. Let's drive it home with that logical argument, right? So we're going to introduce the solution and we're going to show proof, right? So ideally, right, this is where we can start putting in some objections. These are what people had thought, right? From those conversations you had. Think about all the things that people had that they said about the offer or about a service and experience they had before. Now you've got proof, right, to slam dunk some of those objections. So if you have testimonials or if you can talk about what is done for other people, how it made a transformation in your own life, how you use that as an opportunity to then you're going to make that transition from your story to how it benefits them. Really drive that home in terms of proving that this thing that you're going to offer them truly indeed does work, and it can work for them too. So focus on the benefits, right? So a lot of people jump into the features. I talked about that previously. You want to focus on the benefit, right? And the best way to do that is what? There's two magic words. So that. It does this, so that include benefit, right? We do this so that you can rest easy. We do this so that you get your money's worth. Those two words are magical. If you can't think of a way to put in your benefits, fall back on those two words. Some of the best copywriters in the world, like Ray Edwards, a friend of mine, came on the show, on the podcast, talked about that at large in his book, How to Write Copy That Sells. So that is your power word if you are a little bit new to writing copy, specifically when you're talking about benefits. Okay, next is social proof, right? So is there any place that you've been featured? Has Forbes written an article about you? Has your work been featured somewhere else? Is there anything that somebody said about your program, right? We could go back to testimonials on this. Anything that you have that says, third-party validation, third-party credibility, speaks way more about your product or your company than anything you could say, I assure you, but it really slam dunks that logical argument. Next is to finally present the offer, right? So we've introduced it, we've talked about it, we've talked about the benefits, we've countered the arguments, we've featured the benefits. Boom, this is what it is. Value stack, which means you're going to put in, everything that you offer, right? Line item it out, and then boom, normally it's this price. This is the price you get it if you buy now. Boom, you've seen it a million times before. It's effective if you structure it in this manner. And then the last part is scarcity. All right, so scarcity gives them a reason. You don't want people to walk away and say, well, I'll come back to this tomorrow, because the likelihood that they come back tomorrow is next to none, unfortunately. And then you've got to spend money to go retarget them online, or you got to find ways. And the likelihood, again, think of it this way. If somebody walks into a store and you own a storefront and they walk out, that's it, they're gone, right? So you have to look at your sales page in the same capacity, right? You have to say, they're here, they're in my store. Once they leave, I know the chances of them coming back are very, very minimal. So you want to do a good job of making it, this is it. You can't just turn around and come back in. This is an offer that it's either limited time, but make sure that if you do provide scarcity, there's only a certain amount of seats remaining, so on and so forth. Purchase before midnight. You've got 24 hours to take advantage of this deal. Whatever form of scarcity that you decide to utilize, make sure it's real. There's nothing worse that speaks against your credibility than having some form of scarcity that's fake. If they come back in the future and they see that, hey, they said 24 hours at this price, and now I'm here back 6 months later and it's the same price, and they're pulling the same gambit about 24 hours, they're not going to believe you're going to lose all credibility. Plus, it's not fair to the people that actually did take advantage of that offer. You want to give them a benefit of actually acting when you ask them to act. So very, very important. Usually a countdown timer or some kind of limit, even if you just say limited time only, right? Limited time at this price, right? It can be vague. Maybe you are going to raise the price. Maybe you don't have immediate plans, but you can say limited time at this price. Again, I said not fake scarcity, but there is a distinct possibility that you are going to raise the price. That price won't necessarily exist for a long period of time. So any form of scarcity that you can put in, so long as it's real, so long as it's not clickbaity, so long as it's not fake, I would say is a good way to go about doing it. So add scarcity, guarantee it. It's amazing how much just putting that little stamp, 100% guarantee, how much that actually helps you putting that in there. And in some cases, if it's a high ticket offer, underneath that you want to put some form of your signature, right? So get a font that looks similar, or write out your font, get it digitized, put it online, run underneath that signature. I'm telling you, for high ticket items, just people seeing that signature, it makes a big difference. Next is the call to action, right? So boom, the button, get it now, right? Just keep doing that throughout your sales page. Make sure that you do have buttons so they can go to the actual sales cart to complete the purchase. Make sure definitely after your guarantee, you have that right there, right? That's a slam dunk area to put it. And then next, the reminder. So the reason you want to put a reminder and a close at the bottom of your scarcity section is because a lot of people, what they do is they just scroll through, right? They'll just scroll from top to bottom, bottom to top, just scroll up and down the page. If they go to the bottom, what you want is just bullet points that just pull the most important aspects of your sales page in that bottom section, so that when they get to that part, if they only see that, you at least give them the general idea of what the offer entails. So very, very important to include that. I usually like bullet points. I like bullet points throughout the entire sales page. I think a lot of people get too crowded with their copy. It's just paragraph on paragraph on paragraph. I like short, punchy bullet points, visually aesthetic, visually pleasing, larger text. When you go through, you need to understand, people are scanning, right? They're not going to sit there and do, well, here's my thesis for today that I have to read. Here's the book. No. You have to know you have them for a limited time, and they're going to scan. And if they need to be able to have the story told to them just by scanning. So important to do that throughout the sales page, none more so than at the bottom of your page here with the reminder and the close. Okay, so pro tip, I do use Divi. I do build my own sales pages. The reason being is that I think people are getting sophisticated. I think people are used to seeing, I don't have anything against ClickFunnels. I think people are used to seeing template-y looking sales pages that all are constructed in the exact same manner. I like to build mine with my own aesthetic, with my own feel. I like to make it feel more custom. It does take more time, but we have seen our conversion numbers far higher than times where we've just grabbed a template or grabbed something from ClickFunnels, although it does require more work, and you do have to connect other tools to make it work the way you want it to. So I knew people were going to ask. If you do want an example, what I'd recommend is you go over, I'm actually going to include a link below. You can check out one of my sales pages that I put together just for some inspiration. But also don't forget, we're going to do a masterclass at the end of this series. We only have one more video in this series. Go to learnwithcmh.com to sign up for that. We're going to be covering more information just like this, putting it all together, putting all the pieces together so that you starting your business is going to be a slam dunk. There's no way you're going to miss out on it. You're going to absolutely nail it. You're going to finally have that business that you've always dreamed about, and you're going to be able to leave that 9 to 5. We teach fundamentals. We teach foundational principles. I don't teach people to chase social media platforms. I don't teach people to chase followers and subscribers. What I teach people is how to put money in the bank, right? So if that's what you're interested, if you're interested in profitability over popularity, as my business partner says, it's absolutely a series you want to check out. Go to learnwithcmh.com, and I will see you guys in the next one.